Okay, so this is a follow-up video slash apology video. I would like to make a formal apology. I never knew that I would have to make an apology video so soon in my career as a YouTuber, even though this is not my career and this is my side hobby, but I would like to apologize to the public. Thank you to the friends who watched it as soon as I uploaded it to tell me about myself and tell me about myself swiftly and swiftly. I am still getting used to the mic, so I will continually check to make sure that this mic should be fully charged and should hold everything I'm about to say. Unfortunately, you guys will not hear the theatrics of my first reactions to the music. However, I feel like it is only right and justified for me to actually tell you who won, and how it went down, and also the loser bracket. I really worked hard on that and I was really excited. And I will keep that video up because I am proud of myself and for going through it, and also just colossal evidence of what I'm about to say is not changing. Also, it's good that in a way that I am coming back to redeem myself because I did misspell licks. It was supposed to be six, CIX, but I heard it as LIX. So I will first give context to that, and then I will tell you the breakdown and who was in the loser bracket, why, who won the loser bracket, and then who did the winner go up against, and did the winner win once and for all. I'm also feeling better. Thanks for asking. Anyways, so 17 versus Lick slash 6. Um, 17 moved on, and I feel like certain friend who recommended 17 might have put a spell voodoo hex on, making 17 go past without having to compete anybody in the first round. Just speculation. You don't know her powers. Um, so I will say, after listening to Six's song, which is, you're getting real time tea right now. After listening to Six's song, which was Movie Star, as of yesterday and as of today, Six would have smoked 17. I'm so sorry. And again, argue with Spotify and argue with the wall. As I know 17's great. I know that that is not a definition of them. I understand that Thunder really wasn't all that in a bag of chips. But if it wasn't all that in a bag of chips, I'm pretty sure Happy Birthday had other songs in their album. Why was that the most popular song? That is for you to argue with Spotify and the group and how that was selected. But Thunder just wasn't it for me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Six would have smoked. However, now going to the bracket who would have been up against, Six would have absolutely lost in a heartbeat, in a heartbeat. So, in a way, Six would have had their little moment of shine for beating 17. However, they would not have progressed any farther. I do want to disclose that. I again am sorry, Six. You guys look like a really cute couple. Now, the audio, based off of what I can tell, cut off at Astro and Block B. I don't know if you guys heard, but Astro did win versus Block B. As much as I did like that retro vibe, Astro just came in swinging with their song, I think All of Mine, was it? Hold on. Astro. I'm going to be like anal checking the mic now. With their song All Night, because I did not do Moon. Yeah, All Night came in swinging. And so Newest versus Stray Kids. All right, so it was Newest versus Stray Kids. Newest song was Face. And then Stray Kids song was Ceremony. I should have showed Newest as well, but it doesn't matter. Both were really good in their own ways. However, I really did like Face. I really did like Newest. Nothing against them. But I gave it to Stray Kids just because it felt like more of a party celebration song. Not saying that Face wasn't good in its own right, but I liked Ceremony more, and that's just the tea on that. So Stray Kids ended up moving on to the next round. After that, the next round went a little bit quicker because I'm not listening to the full music and song. So it was NCT Dojejong versus One We. I don't even need to look. I'm pretty sure One We was UFO, and that's how much I love the song and One We for me to just right out the gate. So yeah, Perfume lost to One We for sure, for sure. UFO smoked. I loved UFO. That was such a pretty song. It reminded me of No Game No Life. So that moved on to the next bracket. Excuse me. One Us versus Pentagon. Now, as much as I'm still angry at the names, Pentagon did come in swinging. I do remember that. Hold on. Pentagon did come in swinging with Shine. Shine was a very beautiful, gorgeous song. Beautiful, beautiful gowns. However, One Us is Luna. And you guys can hear in the reaction, thank God. But you guys can hear in the reaction, Luna? Like just, ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. That is a movie score. Okay, that is a Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like that should have been in Black Panther 1 and 2. Like I don't know how to explain. It doesn't even fit, but I will make it fit. It was So yeah, One Us absolutely demolished Pentagon. There's not even a second to think. Cordis versus Zykers. As much as I liked Zykers' little comic book themey song, Cordis smoked. Go is Go has crack injected into it. I don't know who. I was talking about this with one of my friends, um, and she was saying that it felt like Suga must have produced the song, and honestly, he probably did. It might have been Suga with Steven Aoki, and then think of any other really prominent K-pop producer. They all worked on Go to make it so. Yeah, so Cordis won that. So then after that, it was Ab Six versus Boy Next Door. I did listen to Ab Six in the break time and did not have it recorded. Just know that it was a great song. Hold on, let me go back to Ab Six. Uh, because you guys did not get to see that as well. I'm doing my best, but I am still having a grand old time in an adventure. And I will learn and grow as you guys learn and grow. Breathe was the song. That was a pretty good song. But Boy Next Door's Hollywood, ooh, I ate it up. I'll eat it up again each day. That is my favorite meal of the day. Boy Next Door, yeah, y'all put up a battle. Y'all put up a real whole battle. So yes, they did beat Ab Six in that with their song Hollywood. I just refer to it as Hollywood, but I think it's Hollywood Views or something like that. Hold on, Boy Next Door. Hollywood Action. Hollywood Action was the song. You could tell that I love it because it popped up immediately. I didn't even need to go through their thing. Next up was 17 and P1 Harmony, because again, remember 17 did not have to compete against anybody. Again, do not argue with me. Argue with dumb Tiana from before. Don't worry about it. But yeah, P1 Harmony absolutely smoked. Absolutely smoked. X X 17 didn't have a chance. And again, I'm so sorry. Thunder just it was I'm not saying I didn't like Thunder. I think Thunder was great. I don't think Thunder was ready for the competition. I think that if this was Drag Race, right, she's a closet queen and she was not prepared for the drag show that was the drag show. You know what I mean? Like, okay, Thunder to me felt like they were thinking Drag Race was just going to be all about looks, and then it was a comedy challenge, and they're not funny, and they just lost. But they were really great queen. Like that's sort of how I'm viewing it. I hope you guys connect with it. There's going to be a lot of Drag Race references here. Just follow the camera. Next was Lucy versus TWS. Now Lucy, oh, that score was just gorgeous. Another movie level, the violin, the playing. After recording, I will say this is not swaying any decisions. This is what was there. I'm so glad I kept the paper. But after doing the recording, I found out that they actually play the instruments that are in the song, which makes it 10 times better. However, would not have swayed me either way with my decision makings. But it was Lucy versus TWS. Lucy won. And it was a little bit hard because I did like TWS's song. Hold on, what was it? I did love Plot Twist. I did love Plot Twist, but I just think it did not have the energy to fight Lucy the way that Lucy was fighting. It was such a beautiful score, beautiful song. And then next was Astro versus Stray Kids. Friend, I am so sorry. I am so sorry, but Astro smoked. Astro smoked. Like, okay, some of these were really hard battles, and I wish y'all could have heard my reactions with fighting them. But this Astro versus Stray Kids was so easy for me. I was just like, obviously it's Astro. And no offense to Stray Kids, I understand that Celebration was one of their songs. It is not representative of how special of a snowflake they are when it touches the ground. I don't care in the moment and in the time. This is the thing. I also like to pause before I go into my next thing because I did have to fight a little bit of a battle with the girlies who still think that I'm not being fair and just and or I should have handled the situation better. So let me give an example. If BTS is so good, it should not matter what song is their most popular song. It's going to be a banger. So let me go to BTS's Spotify most popular song. Life Goes On. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Life Goes On is the number one song. That is a bop, a banger for anybody and everything. If Life Goes On was going up against the rest of the girlies, they would have definitely made it to the finale at the very least. At the very least, they would have made it to the finale. And that's me being a bias. But now you're like, Tiana, what about TXT? They're not all that in a bag of chips. Let me go to TXT's number one Spotify song. And they just came out with a new album release. So it's going to be whatever popular song was from their new album release. Let me go. Let me go. Let me go. What's this? What's this? The number one popular song is Beautiful Strangers? I rest my case, Your Honor. So no crying, no upsetness. If your group is so big, bad, and bold, they should be able to win whatever their popular song is, regardless of where it is at. Just just putting that out there. All right. Triple checking, we're good on the mic, so you guys can still hear me. So after that, we're now on to the before semifinals. We have One We versus One Us. Now that was hard, y'all. That was hard. And in the back of my head, I'm still going back and forth on like, did I really make the right decision on that? But I did go with One Us. I think Luna was just way too big of a powerhouse, whereas UFO was just yeah, it just wasn't fighting as much as Luna was fighting. So One Us went through. Then it was Cordis versus Boy Next Door. Another hard one, y'all. Another hard one, y'all. Like that was difficult. Cordis versus Boy Next Door really had me really second guessing. I'm like, if it feels, I literally said in the video, it's like it feels like I'm picking which child's my favorite and they're twins. You know, I don't. But I went with Boy Next Door. I do think Hollywood Action gave me a little bit. I said when it came to Go, uh, that's such a great song, but like anybody can really do it. However, Boy Next Door's Hollywood just gave me something new and refreshing that I really loved. So I moved Boy Next Door on. Next was Zero Base One versus P1 Harmony, which was really hard for me. Really hard for me. I really had to sit with my emotions. It was like, what am I doing in life? How did I get here? And why do I have to choose between two special baby boys? But P1 Harmony went on. As much as I love Zero Base One's Iconic with the K, X had the same crack that was injected into Go, but just more aggressive. And so I guess I'm addicted. And so next was Lucy versus Astro. This was hard. This was me actually having to compare apples to oranges because both are strong in their own suit. However, I did have to move Astro because I just felt like I got more, like it felt like a musical explosion. It felt like they threw all of their bag of tricks in that song versus Lucy, as beautiful and gorgeous as it is. And maybe if I had the knowledge that all of the members played all the instruments in the song, it might have been even harder for me, or Lucy might have gone through. But I'm sticking with Astro, and that is what I said. Then Astro was the one that won that. So now we are in the semifinals, girls. Okay, we have One Us versus Boy Next Door. This was also comparing apples to oranges. However, I had to move One Us. Luna was just too beautiful of a song, y'all. Like Luna was too beautiful of a song for me not to move it on. As much as I loved Hollywood Action, it just did not have the same fight as it did for One Us. So I moved One Us on, and then it was P1 Harmony versus Astro. Astro did not have a chance. Astro did not have a chance, unfortunately. Even if I were to put Lucy there, P1 Harmony would have smoked. X, I really can't explain it to y'all. X just had something in it, and I could tell that the members shone through it. It was a fun song. It was a beautiful song. It was a like it is a bop. Not even a bop. It is a certified banger. It is already on my repeat list. Already on my repeat list. Like I need y'all to understand. It's only been 24 hours, less than even already on my repeat list on Spotify. Okay. So then we have the finals. We have One Us versus P1 Harmony. Now, this felt like me having to choose which event I go to for my child. Should I go to P1 Harmony soccer practice, or should I go to One Us's violin performance? Like that's what it felt like as a parent. And like, how do you choose? How do you choose? How do you choose? But then I was sitting here and I was just like, all right, as much as I loved Luna, and as much as One Us was really killing it in the game, there's something about P1 Harmony, and this is the group that I'm going to have to stand and be the winner, and also be whoever the loser bracket is, if that is the case. And I just feel like P1 Harmony is that group for me. And so P1 Harmony, you are the winner, you are the girl. I had this whole thing. You still can't see it, but I wrote who the winner was on here. It's a little bit faint, which ended up working in my favor in the long run and a different thing. But yeah, P1 Harmony won. Yeah, that was the thing. That was the thing. And I stay 10 toes down on that as editor Tiana coming back and apologizing. My audio cut out. I'm still getting used to the mic. I'll be more conscious on making sure I see the light, because if the light is not on, that means the mic is off. So I'm going to take a pause here so that way I could do the losers bracket and then talk about the competition between that. Okay, I am back with the losers bracket. Now, I don't know how much you guys have heard or not heard. However, the loser bracket was done as such. I know you guys can't see the words. I did that on purpose, but not on purpose. These three blocks slash competitors are all of the semifinalists that made it that far. However, this last block are two groups that I feel like are pretty special snowflakes that did not get the chance or time or shine that I think that they should have. And so they are the wild card seed. So in the first two, it is Boy Next Door versus Astro. Then after that, it was One We versus Cordis. Then it was Zero Base One versus Lucy. And then, drum roll please, because y'all may or may not get upset at me with who the wild cards are. And it does not matter where they were placed or how far they made it in the competition. It was just my wild card seeds. My two wild card seeds are MCMD. And my last wild card seed, please don't kill me, friends. I still love you guys. NCT Dojejung. And I said what I said, and what I said is what I said. And I thank you. Um, the reasons why MCMD and NCT Dojejung are my two wildcard picks are because those two were the ones that one are going to be or already are in my repeat list. But I felt like based off of their pairings, they really did not get the time, vine, or shine. And so that is why I chose MCMD and also NCT Dojejung. But let's see how they went. So first up was Boy Next Door and Astro. Astro smoked. I don't even know why I paired them up like that. They did not get the time or shine. So yeah, as much as I again loved Hollywood action, Astros all night, just I could tell that they were the queens that are the all arounders and really came to slay. And they did, but they just did not get the crown the first time. Next is One We versus Cordis. When we smoked again, UFO is just too great of a song. As much as I love Go, it is something about UFO that just beat Cordis for me. I can't. But Cordis, I will be listening to more of your music. Just because I don't stand you does not mean I won't passively listen to you. Zero Base One versus Lucy, that made my heart hurt because again, I really loved Lucy. But there was something about Iconic that I cannot explain that was everything I needed in life in that moment. And so Zero Base One ended up going through, and then MCMD versus NCT Dojejung. As much as I wanted Perfume to have a second chance, Ice Age was just too much for Perfume. MCMD Ice Age is a banger, is a certified banger, it's a certified class hit, and so I had to move MCMD. All right, next was Astro versus One We, and surprisingly, Astro was able to finally beat UFO. Again, there's something about All Night that made me feel like I got the gist of who they were in a group and one song, and they really threw everything at it at once, and I just loved everything about it. Whereas with One We's UFO, I really had to sit and be like, okay, do I really love this song because of the song it is, or is it because I miss No Game No Life? And that's a really hard pill to swallow, and I want you to know that I am reflecting. I am still going to therapy, and I need to accept that No Game No Life is never coming back. And that's just something that I need to be okay with. And that's really unfortunate, but such is life, So Astro ended up moving on, and then Zero Base One versus MCMD. Now that was hard. That was, I think, if you were to ask me which battle was the hardest here, I think it was Zero Base One versus MCMD. I could have really sat there for 20 whole minutes and could not give you an answer, but I knew I had to because I don't like ties and I don't do ties. And so I went with Zero Base One only because, as much as I loved Ice Age, it was something about that extra level of suave and believability that I had to move Zero Base One on. And so now we have Astro versus Zero Base One. Again, very hard challenge, not as hard as it was for Zero Base One and MCMD. But the winner of the losers bracket was Zero Base One. Yes, I know, crazy, wild. I couldn't believe it either. And as much as I loved Astros All Night, and it is probably on my repeat right now, something about iconic with a K just ooh. I also did think, all right, not in an unfair way, but just genuinely like, okay, which one do I really think I would have the hardest time comparing with P and Harmony? And as much as Astro was really great and everything, I just felt like Zero Base One deserved it. I loved Iconic, but two probably would put up the best fight to take over P1 Harmony if they had to. And so the end battle was between P1 Harmony and Zero Base One. If you did not hear how I was judging it, because again, my friends that I love very much had their own opinions, and so I decided, fine, P1 Harmony will have to defend their winner spot by competing with uh, Zero Base One with their second most popular song. So I did listen to Zero Base One's second popular song first, which at the time of recording yesterday was Doctor Doctor, and it is still today Doctor Doctor. As you can see, it is in my playlist. It's going to be bumping. And I listened to Doctor, I was like, ooh, see, this is going to be a battle. This is going to be a bloodbath because I love Doctor Doctor. It was a vibe. It was everything that I wanted and needed in life. However, as soon as I heard Pretty Boy from P1 Harmony, as soon as I heard Pretty Boy from P1 Harmony, I was immediately like, oh, we didn't even need to do this. We didn't even need a losers bracket. Honest, and then I started to end my YouTube channel. And I still stand behind it. So I was ending the YouTube channel while listening to it, and I was like, yeah, absolutely. So P1 Harmony is the king, is the group that has beaten all the other groups, will get to dance and twirl and get their $100,000, okay? Not from me though. I can't afford $100,000. However, post credit Tiana slash post after editing Tiana, if you wanted to know. So great, we have this follow up and this nice kiki to talk to each other. Aren't you glad that I'm back? Aren't you glad that I'm here? Aren't you glad that I had a little oopsie whoopsie? Um, yeah, I've been bumping to P1 Harmony. I've been looking at their music videos and songs. One of my friends gave me a little bit of a scare because they're like, I'm not sure if they're still doing stuff. They are still doing stuff. They are active. They are on tour in Europe. I hope it goes well. I love X so much. I love Pretty Boy. Duh was another one. I also heard Sad Song. That was another one. Like, I want y'all to know I am already invested. I'm going to start learning their names. However, I think the leader, who seems to be the leader, is my favorite so far. We're going to get there. So feel free to leave your love and support and not sadness and anger because Tiana made an oopsie whoopsie and is still getting used to her mic in the last video here. And I would love to do this again with other groups. Maybe I'll do another one with girl groups. Maybe I'll do another one with just solo K-pop artists. The world may never know, but I would love to do this bracket again. It was a lot of fun. I probably would do it with other things as well because I just like a good competition. And thank you so much for listening to my Ribble and Ramble. Sorry again for an almost 3-hour video having audio cut out at the end. However, I did my best. And to all of my friends, thank you so much for suggesting that I do this and really keeping my butt on the fire for doing this video because if it wasn't for you guys constantly checking in, I might have just blipped it out of my head. So, with all of that being said, please make sure you leave a comment if you can about what your favorite pretty snowflake was in the competition and why you think that I'm wrong and how you could have done better. But also, make sure you subscribe so that way if I do another video and or make a correction because I messed something up, you guys will be first to notify and know. And with all that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!